Yeah.
Day,
Woo!
I'm
Dave,
I asked and I'm really excited about
hang on, Stephen. I hadn't started properly. Daytime with Aston Avery. Stephen Smith's with me. Joining us right now is autism mum herself, Nicki Rodriguez. Morning, Nicki.
Good morning. Well, good afternoon. No, good morning.
good morning, even. See, this is a problem with living in Essex, I think. Perhaps you get confused sometimes between morning and afternoon.
So, this being said here, Nicki, speaking of Essex, Stephen, Nicki, were you born and bred in Essex here?
Believe it or not, no, I wasn't. I'm actually an East End girl. I was born in Hackney in
No.
East London. Yep. And I moved to Essex when I was about, one, I think.
All right.
And then I've basically been in Essex ever since. But no, I'm not actually Essex, which is a bit of a shocker, isn't it, Stephen?
When I get the train to Essex, as you got off, they give you a spray tan, which I think is brilliant.
Oh, yes, you
And I
can't
picked
beat a
up
spray tan.
false lashes off the train. On the train floor. But no, I love Essex. Everyone loves Essex, doesn't he? Is there anything, Nicki, you would change about Essex, though?
Um, yeah, a lot of the people do get on my nerves, I must admit. Yeah, I can be outspoken, can't I? Yeah, and I hate the fact of if I go anywhere, obviously as soon as I start speaking, you can tell that I live in Essex, and a lot of people have got that stereotypical Towie thing that everybody walks around with hair rollers in, goes out in their big fluffy sliders, and yeah, I do find it sometimes a little
You
bit.
don't. That's
Wow.
not true.
Well, I, I do have the energies, but not ladders and the rollers in my hair.
You have lovely teeth, Nicki.
But this being said here, Nicki, your life has changed so much from being what they call a wag, which is a footballer's wife, now
Yes.
PR, now you're a cleaning expert. How did that come about that you're now a cleaning expert?
Expert. To be honest with you, I've always been into cleaning because I have OCD, and part of my way that I deal with that is by cleaning stuff all the time. And when I was many years ago in the WAG Society, when I was expecting my daughter, who's now 20,
Yeah.
I watched a lot of a program that was on at the time called The House Doctor.
Yeah.
So when I was pregnant with my daughter, I couldn't walk properly. So I used to spend a lot of time watching The House Doctor. And it just made me realise that I could do what this lady does in people's homes.
Yeah.
So after my daughter was born, I went back to studying again. And then I got my interior design qualification. And then I started doing other WAGs houses, redesigning them or decluttering them, reorganising them. So I've sort of been doing this on and off for the past 20 years. And then obviously when I had my son, it sort of calmed down a little bit because obviously I had then 2 children.
Yeah.
And then obviously when Harry was diagnosed with autism, I then met Anna, which is obviously where I met you 2 fabulous boys from. And it was actually you, Stephen, that got me into doing PR from when we were both working at AKO together.
Yeah.
So I did PR for about 4.5 years, and then started dabbling again into houses. And obviously COVID hit us, we was all locked in.
Yeah.
And then when the pandemic we was allowed to go out again, people didn't have money to do PR and stuff as much as they used to. But everybody always needs something doing in their house. So that was where then I thought, my nickname's Dolly, so why not be called the Essex House Dolly?
That's a lovely
and go in and start doing what I do in people's homes.
Did you ever do Lizzie Cundy's house?
No, but I would have loved to. I would have loved to have gone in Lizzie's house. But yes, it was interesting.
You're talking about being on a budget. I mean, cleaning materials are expensive. I mean, if you're on a budget, you know, you're a student or just generally broke, what is the cheapest and best cleaning products to use?
I would say for a lot of articles that I've done recently, you can use household items that are also found in your kitchen cupboards, such as white vinegar, baking powder. When they mix together, you can clean your oven with them. You
Really?
can also clean windows with white vinegar, mirrored surfaces with white vinegar. They're great to get rid of dirt, and you're not getting that harsh chemical along with those substances or liquids.
Yeah.
So I always recommend, I do have white vinegar and baking powder in my Dolly cleaning kit all the time because they're such good.
What's the difference between baking powder and baking soda?
It's different. Yeah, that's a good question, Stephen. That's the difference, isn't it, really, on baking powder and baking soda here? So
they pretty much, I mean, obviously baking powder, you would use that to be making stuff in your oven. I'm not a chef, so I haven't got a clue about what you do with it. I just know you clean with it.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, and bicarbonate of soda, you can use that as well. That is great for if you've got your sinks blocked
Yeah.
or your plugs blocked in your bath.
Oh,
Pouring that down there with boiling hot water, it gets rid of all the grease and all the grime that obviously clogs your pipes.
yeah.
So, like being like they say, like my whites to be really white. That's we're talking about clothing here, Nikki. Of course, on that front
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
without taking the strength here out the fabric. How can our
Yeah.
listeners do that to keep their whites really whites, especially
Yeah.
for their clothing?
I always recommend using Vanish, that you'd put a big scoop of Vanish in the drum.
Yeah.
Sometimes a lot with my Harry where he can be quite a messy eater.
Yeah.
If he's got something white, I would normally put some bleach on it
Yeah.
and then rub it in with a sponge, and then to get obviously that awful smell, and you obviously don't want to put clothes on that have got bleach straight on them,
Yeah.
put that in the washing machine with the Vanish powder, and I always find that works really, really well.
Should you change your bed sheets every day, or how often should you change them?
Funny enough, I did an article 2 weeks ago for Newsweek about bed sheets,
Yeah.
and statistics say once a week.
Okay.
I also agree at least once a week, because you obviously shed dead skin cells. You can also encourage bed mites, bed bugs.
Oh,
Disgusting. Yeah, you sweat in your bed. So I always recommend anybody, unless you've had an accident, we won't go any further than that. If you've had a little accident, which obviously you change it straight away.
You come back drunk and forget.
Oh yeah, we won't comment about that.
well, no, no. just no. But obviously, you're a mum of two, Nikki. Here, how do you go about balancing your work here?
Well, my daughter now is obviously 20. She doesn't live at home anymore, but so it's just me and Harry. So that's why I opened up my own business, because then I'm my own boss. I can work what hours work for Harry. So I tend to work every day till 2 o'clock, and then I'm back home for when he gets dropped off from school. School holidays, I'm really lucky that his dad works from home. So his dad will often help me out, that I can drop Harry there for a few hours. I've obviously got very good nans that they often will help me with childcare. Or if they're not around, Harry is so good that he will come with me to jobs. And as long as he's got his iPhone and his headphones and his snacks, he's very happy to just sit there and do what he wants to do.
No, us and I are involved in AKA, and you've been involved in it. But I must ask you this: I mean, having Harry, is there enough out there done to help families with kids living with autism?
Definitely no. Definitely no, especially with children that are from an ethnic minority. I don't think there's enough support there either. And I recently this year had to hire, funny enough, Anna Kennedy's husband with his law firm to help us get Harry into a specialist senior school, because there is just not enough support. There's not enough help. I don't think there's still enough awareness either.
So I'm going to ask you here to cut back here, because we can't just leave it at that. So you said you had problems, but the average person doesn't know about AKA or going to a lawyer. What are they faced with when they have a child living with autism and they want to get them into a school? What are they generally faced with?
a very, very hard battle with the local authority to try and appeal to then get to tribunal to then get their child into whatever school they feel they should be going to. And also a lot of parents, I felt, especially when I worked for AKO, parents have got so much to deal with on a day-to-day basis that then trying to take on the local authority and go to court, they just can't mentally cope with it. So they end up just accepting wherever their child has been offered to go to school because of all the stress that goes with it.
Yeah, then they risk all sorts of things, don't they? I mean, it's a loaded gun, really, and that's why we need to keep fighting for it.
Yes, yeah.
Advocating, fighting, and all sorts, and having like ambassadors, patrons out there raising awareness as well on that front.
Word is really, really, really important. I'll ask the next question is on the subject of still cleaning. I hate mold in the windows, and during the winter, no matter what I do, I clean, put everything down, it comes back. How can I stop that mold in the windows? I'm allergic to it, I'm convinced as well.
Right. Well, the mold comes from humidity. So when you've got a warm inside house, very cold weather outside, that's why it's so apparent in the sort of late autumn, winter months.
Yeah.
So the best thing to get rid of it is to make a solution of white vinegar and warm water, and then you just spray that all over the windows. A great way to stop it keep coming back is if you get a couple of bowls of salt and leave salt on your windowsills, and that absorbs the moisture from the damp.
My God, I never knew that. That's it. This white vinegar, though, doesn't it stink?
Oh, it honks like you wouldn't believe. Okay. But then what I would do then...
What if you put some lavender drops in it? Would it have the same effect as the...
It would slightly dilute what you're trying to achieve.
Okay.
So what I would suggest to you is getting a really nice scented candle.
Yeah.
Or one of my great tips is using Saflora mixed with water in a spray bottle, and you use that as an air freshener. And that also kills bacterial things. So if you're spraying that around, that eliminates you getting colds and other bits and pieces. So that would be my top tip, especially is to get the salt in the bowls on the windowsills.
What's Saflora?
You never heard of Saflora?
It's one of them, what they call, and it's like one of them cleaning products, Stephen, that you can put on wipes and it makes it fresher, like the floors and all that, your tiles, etc.
Oh, it's the most magnificent disinfectant I've ever come across in my entire life.
Where do they get the Saflora?
Oh, Wilkinson's, Home Bargains, B&M, Tesco, Sainsbury's, any household shops.
Oh, Saflora.
Yeah.
And you put it in water, or what do you do with it?
No, it's already mixed with water, Stephen. You just actually pour a bit onto like your flash wipes, etc., and you can use it on that. Yeah.
You were talking.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I even use it neat in Reed diffuser bottles.
Hang on, so I put it in a bottle and start spraying it?
Yeah.
No water mixed with it?
No, you'd need to mix a bit of water with it because it's quite potent. But they do it in a range of smells. They do air fresheners and wipes and the disinfectant liquid bottles.
Well, I'm going straight after this to get the Saflora.
Hey, wonderful.
Bam. So obviously now we're going to get to the light-hearted side here, Nicki. Anything you do for fun here?
Oh, definitely seeing Stephen, massively. Definitely fun. Yeah, when I get time, obviously, I spend a lot of time with my son because it's just me and him.
Yeah.
Love seeing him. I've got a lot of really lovely friends that I meet up with as often as I can. My favourite thing I have to say is creating DIY things. So at the moment, I've made these lovely glass jars where I've customized them with Christmas bits to give as presents for all my clients for Christmas.
Oh.
I love painting. I love upcycling bits and pieces. But yeah, I always like to keep busy, but definitely seeing my friends and making things, and obviously spending time with Harry.
For Christmas, we have to get together.
We do, because we haven't done it now since 2018.
You're joking.
Wow.
No.
So, and guess what? We're only a month away till Christmas, of course. So get planning, Stephen.
Yeah, we will get planning, Stephen. We need a little Christmas lunch.
Because we saw each other at Jay's concert, and that was only last couple of months back, summertime.
Yes. Yeah.
It was so
it was too brief. We needed a big old gossip catch up over some lunch.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that then. Thank you.
So, Nicki, before you go, how can our listeners find out more about your cleaning products and also cleaning expertise, etc.?
Well, I've got a Twitter account and Instagram account called Essex House Dolly. You can also find me on both those platforms for my website details. And I frequently am writing articles for Ideal Home Magazine, Newsweek, The Sun, The Express. And I've just recently done a campaign with Next about how to do up children's bedrooms. And also apartment therapy, I've just worked with about how to use coffee grounds to clean your home.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm off to buy some flora, but I will see you before Christmas.
Definitely.
Stephen's off to get some Sephora, of course. And Nicki, it's a pleasure to have you on today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And it's lovely to chat to you both.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on.
No worries. Take care, and I'll see you both soon.
Bye.
Bye.